Good morning, faculty.
Good
Nice
morning.
to have you this morning. As you know, we're going to be interviewing for 2 third grade positions. Mrs. Palacios is outside and Mr. Lopez is waiting for us to interview for 3rd grade. So just as, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Mrs. Ontiveros. I'm the principal.
I'm Ms. Garcia, and I'm the assistant principal.
And I am Mr. Gutierrez, the another assistant principal.
Okay, so who are we going to call in first? Should we call in Mr. Lopez or Mrs. Palacios?
We say Mr. Lopez.
Okay, so we're going to call in Mr. Lopez.
And what are we gonna look for?
We're gonna
What do you think we should? Who should we hire? Like,
Let's look for somebody who's energetic, who has a passion for learning,
Somebody who's innovative,
innovative.
yes,
right?
who knows their material. What else? Let's look
Somebody
at
that is willing to
To learn.
go above and beyond for the students first of all.
yes, you are right.
Yes. Because our
All those.
student success is our number one goal.
Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Mr. Lopez. Okay.
So, this is the example of good.
Introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Lopez.
Hello, nice to meet you.
My
Mr.
name
Lopez.
is Ms. Garcia, and I'm the assistant principal. How are you today?
Good, and you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Mr. Lopez, I'm Mrs. Ontiveros. I'm the principal.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Mr.
to have you.
Ontiveros.
Okay, are you ready? Are you feeling okay? Are you nervous?
A little bit, but I am ready.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
We did put the questions in front of you, Mr. Lopez. If you want to briefly take a look over them and make sure that you understand them all. And when you're ready, we can start with number 1.
Perfect.
Okay, ready?
Good?
Ready.
Okay, so Mr. Lopez, let's start with number 1. Briefly tell us about your education and professional background.
Alrighty. Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here as an interviewee. I've been looking forward to getting this position. I currently have 3 years of experience in the education field. I graduated from UTEP in 2012, and ever since then I have been working for Socorro Independent School District, and I have had experience as instructional
Instructional aid.
aid, and I have also had experience as a substitute.
Yes, very good.
Good.
Very nice. Okay, now, Miss, question number 2. You did tell us that you were in aid, that you're currently your 3rd grade teaching. So, what is your knowledge and experience with special populations and their programs like bilingual, special ed? What is your understanding that you have? What do you use with them?
Alrighty. Well, throughout my career, my experience, I have been working with all those different types of student populations. As an instructional aid and as a substitute, I have had the experience to be the head person in the bilingual department, and I have worked with students across all grades from K through 5th, in small group, interventions, tutoring, in the scenarios where I will go into the class and work with them in the class, and I would also remove them from the class and they would work with me in an office. But I have had experience with special ed students, bilingual students, and racist students. I have had a lot of experience.
That's good to know, Mr. Lopez. So let's go to question number 3. Describe your approach to discipline in the classroom. List the steps you include or would include in your classroom expectation plan.
Okay, sounds good. For this question, it caught my attention because I've seen examples of teachers do what it's not right. I have always had the goal of always having a positive reward system. I do not believe in negative reinforcement. Everything that I've done in the classroom with my kids that has always been in a positive reinforcement way. I've always implemented like positive rewards, motivational strategies where students get to earn things such as gold stars or little prizes for reaching certain goals. And at the end, I mean, the parents are happy, the students are happy, and you as a teacher, you get on where you want it to go.
Good.
Very nice. Okay, now it is our belief that the exceptional educator extends your profession to the classroom In what ways are you willing to put in extra time? What are you willing to contribute to this community?
Okay. As a public figure, I know that you have to give back to the community. And as part of the Socorro Independent School District, I would definitely want to give as much as I can back. I'm willing to stay after school. I'm willing to take on projects like tutoring, interventions, any extracurricular activities, or groups that I can be involved. I'll be more than willing to help you guys out with that. And as far as the community, I love staying in touch with parents. Anything that's happening in the classroom, any notes that I want to send back. I always keep a close communication with parents.
Very good to know, Mr. Lopez. Okay, so let's move on to question number 5.
Okay.
And that would be, what makes you the best candidate for this position? Other than what everyone says, being such a passionate about teaching, loving to work with kids, and believing that all children can learn. What can you offer the other applicants can't?
Okay. Ever since I was young, I remember that I wanted to be a teacher. I remember that I loved working with kids, and I remember that it was like one of my biggest passions. So after I pursued my career, I started applying for different jobs, and I feel like I have what somebody else doesn't. I'm full of energy. I have a lot of innovative ideas. I definitely am willing to give my 100%, if not even more. And I am willing to work with every single staff member in the school as far as the community. And of course, my ultimate goal being to give everything that I can so that my students perform excellent academically.
Very nice.
Very good, Mr. Lopez. So that concludes our interview with Mr. Lopez. And so that would be an example of what a good interview would sound like. So now we're going to start to interview Mrs. Palacios, and this is an example of what a bad interview is. Okay?
Let me go that way.
Okay, so Mrs. Palacios, thank you for coming. As you know, we are interviewing for a third grade position. And so I am Mrs. Ontiveros. I am the principal. And this is
Mr. Gutierrez. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, so we have placed the interview questions in front of you, Mrs. Palacios. So if you want to go through them and see if you understand them, and as soon as you want, if you feel comfortable, we can go ahead and start with number 1.
Okay.
Are you okay? I know you were running a little late today, Mrs.
Don't be
Palacios.
nervous.
I'm very sorry, guys. I woke up very late. That's why.
Oh,
I had a little too many drinks last night.
okay.
I needed that unstressful.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, Mrs. Palacios. Okay.
Sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna go off the questions right now, Mrs. Palacios, and I noticed. I'm just curious. You look a little pregnant.
No.
Are you pregnant?
No, it's because I have trouble going to the bathroom. That's why.
Oh my
So
god.
as far as me having to leave the kids and go to the bathroom, no, I can't go. So.
Oh, okay. Well, now that we're on the subject, Mrs. Palacios, I noticed you're a little young for being a third grade teacher. So I'm just wondering, are you planning any more pregnancies?
Or any
more
vacations
children?
anytime soon or anything like that that would prevent you from your instructional duties?
No, not yet. But eventually I will. And I want twins. It has to be 2.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Mrs. Palacios, is there any way that if you do become pregnant, can you plan it for the summer months? Because you know how hard it is to secure a good substitute at this point, and so
With all the STAR testing going on, we wouldn't like any teachers out during
Out?
these months.
What? I guess. I don't know. First I need to find a boyfriend.
okay.
So we'll see.
Okay, so sorry about getting off track, Mrs. Palacios. We're gonna continue with question
Yes,
number 2.
please, because I really want to tell you about my duties.
Question number 2, Ms. Palacios. How would you react or handle a situation where a student is misbehaving, but you are not allowed to send him to the office. You know that we are very busy,
See.
and you can please, we do not need any teachers
Any
to send
more
students
discipline
to
referrals?
our
Look at
office.
all the ones I have to deal with. I have like 20 on my desk at this point, Mrs. Palacios.
It's just
Well,
too much.
can you help us out and not send any more discipline referrals our way? How would you handle those?
Mhm. What would you do in that situation?
Well, I think that nowadays kids, somebody needs to bring down the hammer. And sometimes, well, as teachers, I know that a lot of them send them to the principal, but somebody has to do the dirty work. So I guess, I don't know, maybe put them in the corner or take them outside in the hallway because I don't want any distractions in my classroom at all.
Oh my gosh.
Because my kids can't learn if I have kids yelling. So I'll just, or take them to another classroom. I don't know, something like that. But I will not tolerate that either.
Okay, Mrs. Palacios, that's
Sounds
very
good.
interesting. So let's move on to question number 3. When the students are not performing at grade level standards, how would you implement the tiers of prevention for each student? Or let me rephrase it, implement the tiers of the pyramid of interventions.
What pyramid? Do I need to, is that part of the social studies TEAC? Is that part of the social studies TEAC? Are you talking about, because I know about pyramids. Let me see on my phone. Do I need to teach about the pyramids in Egypt or in Mexico? The ones that are by
Palacios,
Cancun.
I think you're understanding the wrong subject, going off track. We're
What
talking
are
about
you
the
talking about?
instructional tier pyramid, in which you have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 3 being the at-risk students.
What does it mean
This
that
is,
they're at
we're not
risk?
talking about any Egypt pyramids or anything like that.
Can you tell me what at risk is? Because I don't know.
Okay, definitely. At risk are those students that are struggling a little bit, which need those interventions, those extra tutoring.
Well, just give them more homework. And then I
That
think
would be your
that, give them more homework,
Keep
Okay.
them busy.
keep them busy, give them a packet of things to do.
So have the parents help them out.
Yeah, if they can.
Okay, sounds good.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because the parents need to help them. The teacher can't do all the work, so.
All right. Okay, the last question is, Palacios. What did you do in your internship? As a teacher, you know that you will be working with students that are at different levels, right? Like we just talked about. What strategies would you use to help them master the TEACs without changing any scores? Because some teachers tend to manipulate scores during the STAR test, and they tend to get, some of them get terminated for those purposes.
Can I give them a little card with like strategies and because that's not cheating. It's just a little card and then I could
What would you
put
call
like
that strategy?
helping. That's just helping them. I would put it in an index card and then I would have them write like the equations and everything. And then that way, or like when they're taking the STAR, like I could just glance over and do hand signals or something. It's not speaking. If they come, they won't be able to pick it up because it'll just be a signal between me and him.
That's
You don't
very
think,
interesting.
you don't think that will put your job in the lane?
Well, haven't other people done that too? And some are still there. I mean, it's not cheating until you get caught, right?
Very interesting, Mrs. Palacios. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming to the interview. And so we will be discussing.
We appreciate you coming in and taking the time.
Thank you. I really hope I get the job because I really, really want to be a
Thank you very
teacher, and I
much.
really want the summers off. So
Thank
that's
you. You
fine.
have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mrs. Palacios. Okay, so that is obviously an example of a
Bad
bad
example.
interview. Okay, so at this point, we need
To talk with each other as the
As the
interview panel,
administrators.
yes, and we have to come up with a decision to see which interviewee are we going to
going to
hire,
select.
which one will get the position, right?
Okay, so according to our score sheets, I scored Mr. Lopez
Let's talk about
really
Mr.
high
Lopez.
because he's very energetic. He knows what he's talking about, and so I just get good vibes from him.
Yes, I like the way his approach. He made it seem like everything was student centered. He was in it for the kids.
Yes,
I
I
also
agree.
with you ladies that he was a good interviewer, a good candidate for the job because he was on point. He was focused, and he seemed like he has everything to give back to the community.
Yes, I
Yes.
like him too. What
Yes.
about Miss
Palacios.
Palacios?
Ay, Mrs. Palacios seems so young,
He's
and
very young. And
she's thinking of having
confused.
more babies, and so you know how hard it is to get good substitutes nowadays.
Now you remember that she said that she had drank the night before. That's why she was late. Do we really want that type of pattern happening in her school?
Yeah, and she didn't even know what tears were. And
She
then
thought
that
we were talking
cheating.
about other type of pyramids. I
Yes.
don't think she would make a good fit for the teacher they were looking for.
Not for this campus or the
I mean,
grade level.
after all,
yes.
we're looking for the best interest of the kids, and I don't think that
She has the best
she has.
interest.
I don't think so. I believe that we should definitely go with Mr. Lopez
I agree.
for this third grade position.
Yes.
You guys girls agree?
Yes. So Mr. Lopez will be
Our new
new
third
third
grade
grade teacher.
teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you.